Anyhow, on the bottom left corner we have our Protoss player in purple. It is Quizno for PigPan.
And in the top right corner, playing with yellow Terran SCVs, it is TrYCHris for NoCap.
It doesn't say the team because he hasn't got the same name as he was advertised with, which I always complain about, but it's not really an issue. I like complaining, alright?
It does screw up the casting tool because it doesn't pick up the
casting
clan,
tool
doesn't show the little icon of bacon or admiral's hat.
The casting tool is very stupid. Let's just leave it there, without going into more detailed insults for the thing. And it really doesn't like when people change names or have a slightly different vowel here or there, you know. Anyhow, this probe is very sus. Yo, probe.
The probe is indeed sus. The Cybercore starts up right away for Quizno.
This has to be proxy Stargate, if anything. I don't like the position on the pylon. This is way too spottable. I'd have loved it to be a little bit more off-center of the base, but it could also be a spotting pylon. Let's pretend it doesn't really mean it's a very cheesy proxy by any means. We have a marine first, which will kill the probe. But the probe will also get a scout off.
The SCV pauses factory production, turns around.
I did not expect that.
Extends the drill and kills the probe.
I swear,
and goes back to factory production. That was amazing.
I really thought the marine pulled out a scope or something and managed to kill the probe out of range, but no, you were absolutely right.
Very nice touch from TrYCHris. Didn't delay his factory at all, realistically.
It was like a split second. God
yeah,
damn.
Absolutely. And it seems that...
Gateway? I'm very confused. We have a Stargate, but it's on the other side of the map. Yeah, but a gateway... So it will be proxy gateway, so proxy... that will be just for reinforcements. I would have loved that to be either a little bit more centered or closer. I really don't like this position for a proxy gate. But it's a proxy 2 gates. It's a proxy 4 gate total. Has to be. 3 gates and a Stargate maybe? I don't know. I really don't know. I really hate early game pushes against Terran, so I don't know all of them.
Well, this...
Hello?
This build, I'm trying to wrap my head around the build, and it does not make any sense to me, because you should just go standard Nexus expand. And even if you want a proxy, because you're not proxying anything, you're not benefiting from that gateway proxy until your warp gate research is done. Which is right now. So there was no reason to build that first pylon that early.
Marine scouting away, so TrYCHris will not be able to find... Hello? Hello! An Oracle. It slipped by.
Oracle kills 4 SCVs, stops depot construction on a supply block of TrYCHris. TrYCHris is supply blocked at 46, and the SCV that was building the depot got killed, so the supply block will persist for a long time.
Okay, I will pause you a tiny bit to say that this is not a proxy anymore. This is a full-fledged base. We have a Twilight Council, 4 gateways, 2 pylons. I mean,
and I guess it will work right now. I think he's trying to hide it, that it's charged. He's trying to hide the tech. And it would have worked, but TrYCHris never actually scouted the Protoss players. So
it worked in any other position. Also, this mine will deal an enormous amount of damage. This mine is disastrous. My god. All the zealots get hit and the 4
Strips
marines.
the zealots of all the shields. The 4 marines are gonna clean it up. The oracle comes back to help, but it's taken out by the marine rally. The tank production is on the way.
I mean, I'm not good at math, but 1 mine and 2 marines for an oracle and 5 zealots is a trade I think anybody would take any day of the week, I guess. This base is just getting bigger. We have Templar archives here. What the hell?
and one
and a 5th gate.
And another trickle of zealots. This time they have shoes, so they're gonna be a little bit more
effective,
dangerous. But the tank gets saved by picking it up in the medevac, and a few marines go down. Again, I do not think that was an efficient trade for Quizno.
Why is the Templar archive for? I mean, a High Templar for sure, but do you want Storm? You want Storm? What?
Yes, he does. He does want Storm, and the biggest problem for Quizno is that his work production has been very sporadic throughout the game. So he is behind 7 workers versus a Terran with a finished 3rd CC that is about to start flying down, and there is no way that Quizno will have an army that is gonna be able to defend his base, let alone punish the punish the 3rd of the Terran. So there is quite a few charge lots and 2 Archons morphing, but TrYCHris' army is on the doorstep of the Protoss.
On the right side, on the other side, sorry, we have a Terran army which is trying to push on +1/+1 and shield and stims. Shims, as I was about to call them. And this will deal an enormous amount of damage. We don't have a recall as of yet. No recalls on both Nexi, and I mean, TrYCHris is just confused. Where the hell is the army? He notices that he has some problems in his own main base, but you're Terran, you just float away and win the base race.
Yeah, the whole position of the SCVs are fighting the zealots.
Recall has been used, but I mean, oh no, that's way too few zealots. You're just losing the base race even worse now. And I mean, the attacking army is just 1 Archon and 2 zealots, I guess. I don't think they'll be able to do anything. There's an Oracle trying to fly home. The probes are desperately trying to do something, but ouch, 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 ouch.
Yeah, GG gets called, and Terran is triumphant in this very weird proxy game.
Anyhow, we have the map is Ancient Cistern, because I forgot to mention, but on the bottom left corner we have the purple Zerg. It is KatzBug for PigPan.
And on top right, with orange SCVs, it is Anggrath representing NoCap. Had a pleasure of meeting Anggrath in person in Atlanta.
Did ya?
Yeah, was an absolute blast. And I'm very happy that ESL is coming back there this year, and I might even try to make it there this year as well. We'll have to see, because the timing, late December, might not be optimal, but it was definitely a great StarCraft event.
Alrighty, we have a drone scout that checks, well, basically everything. He sees that there's no proxy. The only thing you could be scouting at this point. I always like to check the gas count, but if you see as the barracks in the wall, you're probably safe. usually should be. At the same time,
Yeah, one thing that you could do with that drone is just harass the SCV building the barracks or the command center.
yeah, you
Protoss
can put up
players.
yeah, you can put up a fancy hat and pretend you're a probe for a tiny bit.
Indeed. But so far the builds are looking fairly standard. We have a Reaper into Marine, and the SCV is getting ready to build a factory behind it. Guarantee you we will see a reactor produced by those barracks after the Marine is done. And then the buildings will swap over. 4 Hellions will be produced. And after that, I don't know.
And then crystal ball is a little bit muddy. Oh yeah.
Indeed. The supply block of cats is gonna hurt him a little bit because the queen production is gonna be late. And there's not gonna be a queen popping out in the natural.
Now, thankfully, we had a little bit of mismicro on the Reapers, so he could have done a way worse damage here. And KatzBug is forced to build another set of links, which I don't think he really wanted to at this point, but speed is about to be done, and he'll be safe in just a few against the Reaper. We have the queen showing off the Reaper here. About to pop there. This Reaper is really escaping with his life, with like he was not entitled to it anymore. He tried to die so hard. Oh.
Okay, we have a little bit of a
hotkey
pause
situation. Oh. I really want to know which hotkey specifically.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Anggrath was changing his buildings.
I don't know.
Anggrath is getting a fairly early CC. So he is going to be playing a more macro oriented. He's gonna try to take his third.
It's a safe option anyhow. It's on the high ground, so it's not as committed as it could have been, but I guess he'll be safe with the addition of the 4 Hellions, because at the same time, on the other side, we don't have anything aggressive coming out. One thing I really like from Anggrath though so far is that he's been basically on par with Zerg. He knows the power spike and the threat of late game Zerg, and he really wants to be on top of it. Scouting the third as well. The Reaper is still alive. You shouldn't be alive. You should be dead. Anyhow. A few Zerglings. We do have speed, and we have a Zergling scouting basically everything in the main base of Anggrath, which is always good and all. Oh, Tech Lab on the Starport. That I was not expecting. What do we have?
Oh, are we gonna start Cloak?
Oh, Banshee! Yeah! 150 gas for the Cloak, and then it will be pain time for the Zerg. I mean, Cloak for Banshees is very expensive when it comes to gas. The Zerglings will be able to find this army here stationed, and yeah. I mean, which army are we talking about? There was no indication of harassing from Anggrath anyway. I don't know what you mean by 2 Hellions and a Reaper. Never saw that units in my life. Our barracks will be started here, and it will be out.
The barracks are starting on the reactor.
Yeah, 311. It will be standard bioplay macro. We don't see any more any mech.
Now, technically, if KatzBug build a few more lanes than what he has right now and goes in, he actually has a chance of killing the 4 Hellions because there is no wall. But he hesitates, and that not gonna be the ticket.
Yeah.
So the realizing the lack of wall is dangerous. Anggrath starts a supply depot to kind of create a budget wall, but I would really like to see that engineering bay built closer to the ramp to kind of create some sort of a pathing choke point where the Hellions might prevail over Lings and prevent them from
Now
surrounding.
there's a few things I want to point out all at the same time. The first thing is, if you want to idle your Banshee somewhere, because you're waiting for Cloak and the second Banshee, please don't hover them in front of the Overlord. Second, if you have a Scouting Overlord, can you please sometimes look at it? Because you might want to start some spores if you see a Banshee. And third of all, why the hell is the lair on the third base? All the bases.
To give more HP to the exposed base.
Clearly there has to be.
The logic goes. We have spores starting, and the Banshee is just chilling in the corner, having a smoke break, saying, "Yeah, you know, Cloak was finished ages ago, but I'm just not feeling like it."
I mean, it's a big red button. I really don't want to press it anyhow. Launching missiles is a pain to. Do you know how hard it must be to be controlling a helicopter with 2 rotors?
I would imagine that if these are, this looks like a drone, right? So almost like a drone. So I would imagine it would be a little bit easier to control than the helicopter. And Banshee, our helicopter loses its cloak and flies away on 5 hit points, having killed 2 drones. So I would say that even though our spores were fairly late, they were fairly successful at deterring the threat.
Oh yeah, that has to be the case. But we have a more serious attack from Anggrath with a double drop that will deal a fairly big amount of damage, as we do have banelings with hooks, but at the same time, oh my, this will be a disaster for our Terran player, as all the Zerglings in the world try to rush on the Hellions and the tank. Tank just goes down almost immediately. Eventually we'll be able to clean it off at some point in time, not today though. That's a lot of Zerglings.
That is a lot of Zerglings. 15 SCVs go down.
Another
the tank goes down.
The tank count is so important in this matchup. If you are not building it up constantly, losing the CC that was building as well. The orbital is forced to lift off. The orbital is forced to lift off. The orbital is forced to lift off. The mules for repair. I love this move because it's the only way you'll be able to save it. Repair! Just repair! And the orbital...
no, the Lynx chase away the... Oh no, the orbital burns down. The double drop on the other side of the map is cleaned up by Zergling reinforced. It was successful at canceling the Zerg's 4th, but at this point in the game, Anggrath's economy is a little bit worse, but not that much worse, because he's still ahead by 10 workers. He lost the base, so he cannot really
use them though, because he can only use 44 workers at the moment, because that's how saturation works. Well, not truly, but close by.
Interesting fact: up until your bases are saturated to 1.5 workers,
yeah, that's true as well.
You still get additional income.
It's diminishing returns though for every SCV you put on.
Yeah, absolutely.
And to confirm that. Whenever you rainy purse, we already have an SCV stuck behind an armory. This is not going well for our Terran player. All the things that could possibly go wrong have gone wrong, and well, they say that StarCraft doesn't really have luck in it.
I would love to see some banelings from Cats.
Yeah, we
because
do have
there's nothing.
Speed, right?
we have Baneling speed, we have a Baneling nest, we have a ton of gas. So I would love to see some sort of use for this gas, whether that would be mutas, banes, anything really. Because otherwise, Marines are pretty good at dealing with just lings.
Yeah.
Oh my god! And
That's
having
oof.
38 banelings morphing at once just outside of Terran's base.
At the same
They're
time,
gonna blow shit up.
how can you contest the army on the other side of the map though? Because we have a ton of marine, a single marauder staying strong there, and a single widow mine. The widow mine will actually be useful as on its own, but I'm not too sure about the marauder. The lag goes down almost immediately. Those 500 HP more not really paying off, and the banelings are rolling though.
The green wave of Banes is destroying SCVs. 17 SCVs go down, and more. There's more of that to come. 33 SCVs, 2 full mineral lines go down, but there is the base of the Zerg is also gets annihilated with 18 workers, so we're back to worker parity. But there is lings coming back and being morphed everywhere, so I feel that the army is gonna get cleaned up eventually.
Bad rally though. That rally is costing
bad rally.
Costing KatzBug all the money, and he loses basically all the queens. He really has no more defending unit beside the freshly morphed banelings. But I don't think they'll be able to clean off this army. Banelings are not known for clean off stuff. They get splashed on a single marauder, so many of them. I don't know how many +1 banelings are needed for a single marauder, but I think whichever the number is, it's way too many.
Yeah, but with that being said, that was the only marauder in Anggrath's army. So Anggrath is on full marine production.
I mean, if your opponent only has 4 banelings, 32 zerglings, and a dream, I don't think it'll be a problem.
Indeed. Another base goes down. And there's even more Marines coming back.
Yeah, this is way too many. At this point, I don't think it's a game anymore. It's just a slaughter. Double steam just for the sake of it, because I can. That's why. The other base goes down. It's basically uncontested at this point. KatzBug is trying desperately to try something here, but I don't think he'll be in time.
Yeah, and GG gets called. And yeah, Anggrath's continuous SCV production has allowed him to lose over 60 workers in that game and still maintain a worker advantage. That was very well played by Anggrath.